Hey everybody, Alyssa here from Becoming Memories. Thanks for joining me for another process video. In this video, I'm actually using my How to Kill a Kit with Style from July, but didn't get this filmed and uploaded until August. So this layout here, I've actually already done this layout, but my daughter decided to add her little stamp on it with some distress stains that I had left out on my desk. And I really loved how it turned out, so I thought I would just take it apart and redo the background and then kind of place everything on the background, and that way I have an opportunity to show you how I made this background. So I'm going to get started here with some Distress Oxides, and I have this round foam stamp. This is a 1-inch circle. It is from a very old Pebbles foam set, and I actually gave away the foam stamp set, and I only kept the little centers of the circles because they were, the centers of the flowers because they were circles. And so that is what I have. So I also have this cut file here. It's called Dip to Leaves. It's from Paige Evans, and I've painted all of the tips of the leaves gold. So we're starting here with Aged Mahogany, and I'm going only about 2 inches from the top of the paper here. And then I'm cleaning my stamp with a baby wipe. Now, for your own personal reference here, wiping on a towel with these foam stamps does not totally clean off the Distress Oxide. I learned that the hard way on that first layout that I did. And so now I'm just stamping across. So that is, let me check what color that is. While I'm stamping all the way across the page, I can let you know all of those colors. The green, well, you know what? I'm going to tell you wrong if I don't look. So let me just go through here. Pulled out my little swatch book. So I'm just stamping all the way across the page. And the reason is, okay, so that's Aged Mahogany, Tattered Rose, and then the green is Peeled Paint. The yellow is Fossilized Amber, the orange is Carved Pumpkin, and the brown is, I believe, Vintage Photo. So I'm spraying all of these with water. And I know you can't see this very well. I apologize for that. But there's really no way to get good drips without just going straight up vertical. And so now what I'm going to do is dry this, because I'm going to re-stamp and put more ink in the same spots that I had it before, and then wet it again and let it drip again. And it creates this layered effect where you get all these different drips of different lengths. And for whatever reason, I couldn't really achieve that effect without stamping twice and repeating. So I think it's worth the effort. In fact, I think this would look really cool if you actually left your stamped circles more visible than I did. But anyway, as you do it the second time, it goes a lot faster because you can kind of, you know where all your colors are. And here's where I realized that I messed up, and I actually didn't stamp the orange color and the yellow color twice. I only stamped the orange color twice. I missed the Fossilized Amber yellow, and so on the second one, I put the yellow over the orange. I don't know how I did that with all of my mists lined up in a row there, but somehow I managed. So same deal here. I am just adding water, shaking down those drips. And I really love how, I would love to, I'm going to do this project again, and I'm going to do it with, or this type of background again, and I'm going to do it with rainbow colors, because I think, man, again, that Roy G. Biv on the back of the page would be just amazing. So I was kind of just, originally when I did this, I was talking live, but it went way too long. So what I was trying to explain there was that I wanted to try it with a rainbow and have the rainbow kind of drip down. So here what I'm doing is I'm taking my finger and I'm dabbing a little more ink, because I still want a little more spattering and running. But I'm just dabbing below the circle because I'm trying to encourage new drip lines to form. What happened when I did the second time and I just stamped right over it was that my drips kind of went in the same track, if you will. And so because I'm trying to encourage new drip lines to form, I kind of smudged the ink in a little bit different pattern, and there we go. That's what I was looking for. And I didn't probably run as well the first 2 times because I was trying to make it so you could see it. And in reality, I should have just gone straight up vertical, sprayed and tapped and done that. So here I am drawing for the final time. And then we are going to put this layout together. So when you do this with Distress Oxides, I always recommend stopping and drying multiple times because your colors won't muddy when you do that. And they layer on each other so nicely that it's worth the drying time. So now I'm just taking off all of my embellishments. This piece of vellum here that I have cut in kind of a flag shape. I'm just showing you the difference in how the background turned out from the first time to the second time. Minus the addition of the blue from my 2-year-old. So here I am taking off the vellum, and some of the paper did pull off with it, and that's probably because I attached it to that background when it was wet, because I kind of got in a hurry. Imagine that. Anybody else ever done that? I get in such a hurry with mixed media, and it's kind of silly. I should just take a breath, but I don't do that very well. So I just used my Cricut tool, the same tool that I used to peel cut files off of the backing when I used my silhouette, and scraped off that paper and that adhesive. And I apologize for my head in the screen here. I'm trying to make sure I get everything straight, and that can be a little tricky to do without sticking your head in the camera. So that vellum is down, and yes, my paper is still wet a little bit here. So my vellum has warped a little bit, but it's okay. If you're a little more patient and you wait a little bit longer, that's probably a better thing, because you might even flatten that mixed media background before you add all your stuff on top. That way your vellum won't warp and your mixed media will be totally dry. Imagine that. So I've backed these cut files here from Paige Evans. Like I said, it's called Dipped Leaves, with some papers from that July How to Kill a Kit with Style kit. And I'm basically reassembling the way that I had it before. I'm using that word from Heidi Swap that says simply. And I do fidget a little more with the leaves. I'm just having a hard time finding exactly the configuration that I'm looking for. Here, excuse me. I'm staying up late at night to catch up on YouTube videos. My apologies. So, still fidgeting with those leaves. The good news is that the other side, where the camera is, came together pretty quickly. And so I really didn't have to do too much fidgeting on that side. But for some reason, this grouping of leaves, and you know, it's funny because now that I'm watching it, there have been about 4 times when I was like, that looks good, just stop there. But of course, I didn't stop there. So now I'm using this silhouette cut file. This is a change from the version that my daughter inked for me. And this is just a label that I cut with my silhouette. I cut pages of these labels when I have my silhouette out, and then I can color them with inks or mists and use them for just about anything. So I colored it there with that peeled paint Distress Oxide that I used. It's the same one that I used on the background there. And I'm using this because I wanted, it kind of helped me arrange the leaves better because it sort of camouflaged what was going on with the ends of the leaves. And it also gave me a place to rest the rest of my title, which is coming here in a second. We'll see what I did with that. That word simply is from Heidi Swap. It is wood veneer. And I got it at Tuesday morning in a pack that I put in the kit. And I was really proud of myself. I actually used 3 of the 4 wood veneer words in out of this kit in that month. So I have some gold butterflies there. Those are from another paper that was in the kit as well. And I'm still fidgeting with those leaves. I don't know what was throwing me off so much about them. I should have actually taken a picture of the way that they were arranged on the other layout before I took them off. And I make the mistake quite often of not just taking a picture of things because I think I'll remember, and then of course I don't. So always I recommend, if you're going to take something apart, I went through a stage where I was really smart about it, and I would take a photo of my layout before I disassembled it to adhere it. And then I could refer back on my phone to my photograph, and I never had this issue. But I stopped doing that, and I don't know why, and I need to go back to doing that. So now you're seeing some of the bits and pieces that I had from that kit. I am just trying to decide if in fact this layout is done or if I want to add something else to it. I'm inking, what am I inking? Oh, I am inking a circle that was kind of the center of some other silhouette file that I cut out, and it had, I think it must have been like a circle background, and I kept the pieces, the inner pieces that I didn't use, and I have some of those circles. I also like to do things like I cut a star background, and I'll keep all of the stars just in a little dish on my desk, and I'll use those things. I use them all the time. They're just like the perfect little bits and bobs, and especially when I have Distress Oxides already pulled out. That's one of my favorite things to do because I love the way that Distress Oxide goes on, kind of with like tone on tone. Like there's a little variation you can see there with that green label. Like it's not one solid color, and I could make it one solid color if I wanted to, but I don't want to because I feel like with this type of mixed media layout, it just adds so much texture to the page to have that kind of variation in tone. And you can also do a really cool ombre effect with Distress Oxides. I'll have to do that in a video sometime. So now I am using this label. These labels are from, I think they're from the dollar spot, like at Michael's. Not 100% sure about that because I pulled them out of the bins at Goodwill Outlet. So some of the things I've gotten at Goodwill Outlet I've found a little bit tougher to use because, obviously I'm not picking them because they're my style. I'm picking them because they're incredibly cheap. And a lot of them do go into the classes that I teach. I teach some scrapbook classes for like preteen girls, or card making classes. And preteen girls love a whole different style of thing than I love. So it works out well. What I get at Goodwill Outlet, I get super cheap, and I can just kind of let them use it and play with it without worrying about what might happen to it. So, or the fact that they're using more than I would use. Other than adhesive, oh my goodness, I was shocked in my last card making class how much adhesive 12 and 13-year-old girls used to make cards. I had one tape runner per girl to start the class, and by the second week I had to get refills. 3 cards. It was crazy. I was like, man, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of like the kid that uses the whole glue stick on the first day of school, right? I mean, it happens. So now I'm just drawing a few lines for my journaling. Found a good place there to kind of tuck it in. And I also did add just a pen border around the edge of this page. I felt like it needed a little bit of grounding. I'm writing in my journaling there with an American Crafts journaling pen. I am in need of some new journaling pens, and I think I'm going to get some Pitt pens. By Faber-Castell, I really do like them. And so that's what I'm going to go for next time I go to Hobby Lobby with a coupon, I think. Still fidgeting, trying to decide if anything else is going to go on this layout. There is where those gold butterflies came from. That is a paper from Spellcast from the 6x6 pad by Paisley. And it is actually a Halloween themed pad, but that does not mean you can only use it for Halloween, right? So just fussy cutting out another one of those butterflies because I wanted to put one up there in that corner where I put that black label. That area right there, and also the arrangement of the leaves, completely kicked my backside on this layout, and I spent way more time trying to sort out what to do with them than I probably should have. This is Black Mist. This is called Coal. It's from Tattered Angels. It's almost gone, and I'm going to have to find a substitute. I do have one from Shimmers that I like, and so that will probably end up my substitute. So here are the finished layout pictures. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.